Good evening. Whoa, where are you?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I was like, here we go. What's going on? Come on, Nando, get with the game, love.
I don't think they want me here tonight. Whatever's going on, it keeps messing around. But no, how you doing?
Yes, apart from melting,
It's still sticky.
doesn't,
Hot.
yeah, if it does not sort itself out, I'm just gonna be like an ice cream flooded everywhere at this rate.
But no, but yeah, we've got another great show lined up this evening.
How amazing
old chat.
to have this lady on the show. Like,
Yeah,
I've
we're
got
having a
her on.
great chat in the background.
Yeah, so this is going to be really good. So I don't even want to garble tonight. I'm going to go straight in and bring Patti
Shall we
up.
go?
So everybody, we have the wonderful Patti Negri.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi. Good. Thanks for having me on.
No, our pleasure. Our pleasure, totally.
Yeah, thank you for taking time out of your schedule because we know that you've got a lot going on.
That's okay.
So it's always, like we were saying in the background, Sarah got to speak to you last time, which was great. But now it's my turn. Well, with Rob as well. But yeah, looking forward to it. Speaking of the devil, here she is already. Hey, Patti, looking gorgeous. Great to see you, sweetheart.
You too. Hi, Sarah.
She don't talk to me like that. Wow.
We have the Bud Files in the room. Good evening, guys.
Saying hello.
We have
Brian
telling us to behave. I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, well, we're going to be good, but no. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. What I wanted to do is a bit of a refresher. For people that may have not seen you before, I'm sure that's impossible. But but for you, where did your journey start into the paranormal for yourself, Patti?
Started very, very young. When I was literally before I started school, when I was a toddler, I knew that the imaginary friends little kids have weren't imaginary. I was talking to spirits since I could talk. I thought everybody could. I actually think little kids are gifted and have the sight, but we just, logical brain, everything. It's like, that's your imaginary friend, Johnny. But I was obsessed with the dead, and it wasn't in a dark or morbid way. I literally did my first seance when I was 7 or 8 years old in my little suburban Los Angeles home. I stuffed towels under the doors and realized I didn't know any dead people when I called in like Marilyn Monroe or whatever movie stars I knew at 7 or 8. And my windowless, lightless hall filled with orbs and lights and shadows and sounds. And as I went running out screaming with my best girlfriend, I was also jumping up and down going, this is real and we can control this. I called this in. So I spent my whole life from age 13 on studying religion, science, philosophy, occult science, metaphysics, and just put words to what I see.
And just at a young age, that's got to be, I get what you're saying, that people have the gift, but when people are not part of the paranormal community, they see things in a very different light. Did you come from a family that had the gift as well, or you're the only one in your family? What was their thinking when you come out with all this?
I think what was really great, why it didn't get taught out of me, is because my mom would always go, I would say something, whatever, somebody came to visit. She's like, yeah, grandma did that too. Yeah, grandma could do that too. So it was like not a big deal. I did not have a big religious upbringing by any, my grandfather was this famous like psychoanalyst, philosopher, very Freudian, very academic, and very atheist, leader of like Humanist Society of Friends, and he hung out with all these like Hollywood celebrity academics. So they thought anything of religious or spirituality or anything was just a weakness in itself. But I would drive by and I'd see the energy in a church, in a temple, in a park, in whatever going, I see this energy. So when I was 13, mom said I could do whatever I wanted, and I just started seeking what things were. So it just didn't get taught out of me, or that it was anything like that. Yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant, because it's always good to get that support, because some people get, not being rude, but some people get looked at to be a bit crazy. And like you were saying, when kids grow up, they got a very big imagination, and sometimes we're too quick to say it's just their minds growing, but in fact it could be a lot more. that
Yeah.
they can be seeing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I just always had this connection to nature. I just always had this connection to spirit. And again, it wasn't spooky. There was the scary ones and the not scary ones. And there was the friends and the not friends.
We have Daryl's joined us. Good evening, Daryl.
Hi, Daryl.
Oh,
We have Katie.
okay. Hello.
And we have a John said in the olden days you would be burned at the stake.
Oh yeah, I'd be long burned because besides the like seeing spirits and telling mom what was going to happen, I also would find myself in my little suburban backyard picking different plants and herbs like rosemary or mint and knowing that they would give my mom more money and stuffing them in her wallet as like money magic. She didn't quite understand that. She's like, what are you doing? No, this is money. No, it's not money. It's leaves. No, it's money. And then years later you study it. So yeah, I'd have been long burned. Again, that's that connection to nature. It's just born in us, I think.
So I've seen you use the dowsing rods, which is something that I like to use. And actually, it's because I watched you use them on a ghost adventures that I went out and brought some, and I was like, right, I'm going to have a go at this. So tell me how you get them to work, because I'm sure I don't get them to do them properly. So
I think you just have to get out of your own way. You have to. It's to me, it's a really good exercise, almost in how to meditate. I have a pair right here. I always have a pair. You can't hold them tight. You can't be worrying about it. You have to hardly hold them at all, and you have to like empty your mind almost. And then you come up, get to know them. Like, what is yes? Okay. What is no? Okay. And mine, I'm so nuanced. I know more right over left means myself or the spirit is trying to make things happen. And left over right is more outside forces, somebody else or God or spirits, and then how they dance between. You can get lots of nuances. But it's getting out of your way, because just like, when you first hand them to somebody, they're like, what? And get their eyes out. But now you can just pick them up and energetically, it's just, you're just the conduit. You're just the conduit. That's
okay,
it.
cool. Thank you. Nando?
And with equipment, so a lot of the times we can see that you're using your own self as a piece of equipment. Is there do you use a spirit guide, or how do you know when something's coming to you? Is it a sense of smell? Do you just see a full apparition in front of you? How do they generally communicate with you?
Because I've been doing it so long, I hardly separate it, but I do have all the clairvoyant means it's clear seeing. You might see, oh, there's a shadow man with a cowboy hat on top of you. That's clairvoyant. You might there's claircognizant. I just know there's a man. I don't see him. You might feel, you smell and taste. I have all those. Sometimes you just know there's somebody. Sometimes you feel it. Sometimes you smell it. Sometimes you taste it. I crunch it all together the way I do it now. It's like, I don't notice. Am I seeing it with my real eye? Am I seeing it with my third eye? It doesn't matter. I'm seeing it. But when I am teaching people this in my school, I teach them to know the differences, to know which one is your strong point and which one you need to develop. Simple little exercises, like I'll have somebody to just sit and look around their room and then close their eyes and then do it again in their mind. Are you using your visual eyes? Are you using your memory mind? Are you using smell or taste or emotion to figure out how we are our best ghost tools. We are our very best, but you actually have to learn a language. We all have tells like, oh, chills, goosebumps. Oh, that means something. Yes, that does. But some people get a tingly this or a tingly that, or you feel it in your belly. You have to learn your specific spirit language.
And how, it must take a toll on you. You've been doing this for years now, and you must come across a situation where it takes a toll on you mentally, physically at times. How do you separate yourself when you need that time to, rebuild your energy and everything?
I did this as a little kid. I actually rarely have that happen unless I'm in such an intense situation. We're on a paranormal investigation. I'm channeling some serial killer or something. I have an on-off switch. When I was a little kid, I don't want to go to the grocery store and see somebody's dead mother in the produce department. When I was a little kid, I didn't realize I would walk around with my, like, I'm like sucking your thumb, but my thumb in my hands. That turns off my psychic gift. I don't have to do that. Now I just go like this, off. I literally have like an on switch, off switch. And now you can get fancy with the dimmer switch, but it makes both sides stronger. On the off switch, I can go through day-to-day life, go driving, work, and not be a crazy person going, you just have to live in the mundane world. You have to logical left world. And then when you turn it back on, it makes it that way more stronger. The bigger separation you can have, that even goes into my craft thing, like how you would lay your broom. Here's the mundane world where gravity counts and you pay your bill. Here's the magical world where ghosts exist and fairies exist and anything can happen. And the more you separate it, stronger both get.
Cool. I could imagine driving down the road and you haven't switched off and something demonic standing at the side of the road to scare you. Oh no!
Yeah, exactly.
Glad you got an off switch.
And it's like, no, I don't even see it. And again, and it's probably not going to be demonic anyway. I really think demons get way too much credit. It's like, really, yeah. It's like, I think 90% of what people think yes, demons exist, demonic exist, of course, good, evil, light, dark, but I think 90% of what people think is demonic and demons, just cranky ass ghosts, he's like cranky in life, cranky in death. And now these paranormal investigators come in all the time. It's like, leave me alone, I'm gonna scratch you. Doesn't mean it's a demon, it's just like, get away.
No, I agree. I think sometimes people are too quick to brand it, and you've got to think sometimes when you're going to these locations, there's a lot of history, and some of it is very dark history. And like you're saying, if someone was a pissed off spirit in life, they're most probably going to cross over and feel exactly the same, aren't they, and be who they are.
Exactly. Again, and we're rarely investigating the fun hotel where the ghosts are swinging from the chandelier and having a good time. You're going to the insane asylum and the prison and the evil school where they tortured children and the serial killer's house. They're not going to be your nicest spirits as a rule.
So going on to the demon bit. So one of the earlier on, I put out like asking a few questions. As I said to you, I asked people. So one of the questions that a lady called Melissa put across was, on some of the TV shows that you appear on, when you're not with them, they get a lot of demonic entities, but when you're with them, they don't get any of that at all. Is it something that you do to stop that for when you're on the show with them, or do they just not come when you're around?
I think a little bit of both. Again, one reason shows like to have me is because I do know how to lift the veil. So you're probably going to get some good activity. But see, I think, again, even the demons do exist, but I don't think they make for as good of investigation or television as you think. Because again, it could cause chaos on the cameras, cause chaos with the people, cause confusion. So I think, I have a little control over how I lift the veil, and then I'm just not going to go there.
That's cool. And with what was I going to? I had a question I was going to with the spirits. Like you come across a number of different spirits, and I know it's a very hard question to really know to answer. But in your opinion, why do you think there's so many spirits still stuck? Because if we was to look at someone's, when you go to someone's funeral, they're saying they're laid to rest, then they move on. But why do you think there is still so many spirits stuck in and still around?
I don't think they're stuck. I think most of them are there by choice. I could tell the difference. I could tell that there are, of course, spirits stuck. If you go to like someplace like the Cecil Hotel, they're being held down. There's places that they're being held down by either a bigger, badder spirit or something demonic or something an egregore created. But I think most spirits hang out because they can and they want to, whether it's grandma wanting to watch the grandkids grow up, or even when we do go to some of these like the prisons and the insane asylums, that's what they knew. So if you're going to hang out, even if it maybe wasn't the best life, it's the life you knew. And in my experience, I don't think there is time and space on the other side. So they can be watching the grandkids grow up or hanging out with whoever they used to hang out with. And whatever pearly gates and possibly be reincarnated. I think we think of things with our little tiny human brains, and if there's not time and space, I don't think that many are stuck. Most of them are just there because they want to be.
So they get the choice then to
they have a choice,
do what they want, really.
Yeah,
that's cool. Rob, your turn.
So I watched a podcast or a clip of a podcast. I think it was on TikTok where you were talking about someone bursting into flames.
Yeah.
In front of you. Can you tell us about that?
I can. That was my wildest to date, I must say. Okay, it's in my neighborhood. I live in the Hollywood Hills, an old 1920s, the first movie enclave, right under the big Hollywood sign. So it's got the little worker cottages and the movie star mansions. There's a house. My house is 1920. This was built in the 1920s, built by Charlie Chaplin for one of his many girlfriends, Mary Astor. She was a movie star of the day, silent movie star. And it was a super party house for years and years and years. And when you have super party house, lots of drugs and alcohol, it will bring in a darker energy into play. So for years and years, it was this crazy Hollywood party house. And then in the 60s, the Rolling Stones manager bought it. So the Stones stayed there, Mamas and Papas, Graham Parsons, all these creative, high vibration, light, dark, whatever, big energy people. Then they moved out. So itchy nose. And then they moved out, and the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in. And he said it got a little spooky for him. And he moved out. And then my neighbor, Marilyn Manson, moved in for 7 years.
Wow.
And actually, and he recorded down in the dirt basement. You guys know it's always the dirt basement. But he actually moved out. But we were shooting at his house. It was because this house had always been so haunted. It looked like a haunted house. Built in the 20s. It looked almost like somebody from a Masonic Lodge built it, like sacred geometry everywhere. There literally was a compass drawn in the floor as you go in, 4-level spiral staircases, 12 windows. Everything was very magically ritual oriented. So they were doing a documentary about it, and I was doing a seance, and I had lots of young people around. Young people, if you guys notice, past puberty but not too far into their 20s, have so much life force. That's how when the poltergeist stuff happens, and they just have so much life force, and it's not all controlled yet. So I had a table full of these people. So I'm raising the veil the way I do. And my one rule is you have to be respectful, be skeptical. But this one kid, maybe because he was on TV or whatever, was getting disrespectful and just saying really stupid things. The house they had 3 spirits in it. I'd already talked to them. Very theatrical, but not demonic, but big in life, big in death. And, if you're Bob the Quiet Banker in life, you're going to be Bob the Quiet Boast. If you're some big 1920s movie star or rock star, you're going to be that. So anyway, I could feel the energy is getting like, and then he said something really stupid. And then the French doors flew open. Everybody's screaming. Cameras caught it. And I say, the producer side of me is going, wow. I'd never fake anything, but that's really cool. And then we're getting again, and the tension's building, and that happened again. The French doors flew open, and I'm like, this is getting tough, but we're going to keep going. Everybody knows what they're in for. We're doing this. And then he said something again, and the speakers on the floor, you guys know old school speakers. It used to be how big can your speakers be? So big, loud. Yeah. This is how little now. The speakers came on, white noise. It sounded just like a spirit box. But it was speakers, and we looked later, it wasn't plugged. It came on, but you've just felt the room coming in like this. 4-camera shoot. He said something, we're working with a Ouija board, but it wasn't that. But he said something really stupid, and not him, but the cameraman facing him burst into flames.
Wow.
The V up his back like angel wings of fire. He was not standing in front of a fireplace. He was not standing in front of a candle. Hi, Daniel. And 2 cameras actually caught it. So that's good. One camera started like filming the ceiling or the floor. I guess you touched the metal of a camera person by a small room bursting into flames. Like, and then the poor guy who caught on fire, he's wondering why everybody's screaming at him, pointing at him. And, cool witch medium Patti becomes medic, Patti, which I am. I'm EMT. I'm sort of. I'm like, drop and roll. I'm calling in my drop and roll. This is not okay. You do not spontaneous combust on my. This is not okay. I'm like, oh, we're done. We're done. We're done. Shutting down the veil. But the cameraman who got on fire was a super skeptic. He was not a believer. He was so thrilled that he caught on fire. He spontaneously combusted. He's like, I'm fine. I'm like, no, you're not fine. I'm looking at the blistering on his back. He goes, no, I'm okay. The shirt burnt off him like this. It shouldn't have. He's like, I have a sweater. I'm like, okay. I talked to the spirits. I'm like, come on, we're not even going to get rid of you. We know this is your house. The kid who caused it all was no longer going to be a problem at all. He's like the choir boy in the corner. No more words. It's like, so we finished it. A lot of some of the craziest stuff I've ever experienced. A glass flying out of a cupboard from 10 feet away from anybody, flying 50. I've never to this day tried to push the same cameraman off the thing, but we finished it. But the cool thing, how this turns actually into a good story, is 3 weeks later, the guy who caught on fire, the cameraman, he's a documentary filmmaker. He goes, Patti, look at my back. And where I had seen the blistering totally looked like he had got a tattoo of a dragon on his back.
Wow.
Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged head into the shape of a serpent. And that's the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I work dragon energy. Look at that very scary little dragon. I work dragon. It wasn't. This looks like it's on his back, and because it's crossroads energy, so I shut it down, and I'm looking at his back, and I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That's about the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he thought so too. He's just like, look at this. He actually was so impressed, and he wrote a script about a TV medium in Hollywood, about me basically doing every TV show. And then a portal opens and it becomes one of those, the kind I like, the funny, scary. I hope so. If they do it, I hope somebody fabulous plays me. But he actually wrote it with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade series. So I hope they do it, but they haven't yet. But I did sit down with him for 5 hours, and this is a good tale and I looked at reading the script. I go, Lauren, you can't say that in the movie. You can't say that on the script. He's like, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That opens a portal. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? Happens all the time. People don't know. Spirit, energy, demon, whatever is going to react the same way to an actor reading lines with passion as if it was real. So we changed all the words they could sound as scary or as magical, but they're not going to open a portal to hell if it ever does get done. And I'm glad more and more shows and films, especially horror films, are using consultants who know occult, know science. So you don't, all the actors don't die at 27.
That's great. You've done great stuff, and you've been doing this for years. And you were talking earlier on about skeptics being respectful. Now you must have had your fair share of people being disrespectful to you, and it seems to be part of the package. How have you dealt with that? Because you come with loads of gifts, and when Sarah saw you last year, she said it was great. But how do you deal with the negative people that just want to be horrible? What's your way of dealing with it and not letting it affect you?
I don't let it. It's their choice. I don't proselytize. You don't have to be a believer. It doesn't matter. I know my truth. I know what I see. I mean, a spirit can give me your iPhone code, and has, but that's okay. You can. I don't take it personally, because we all have different truths. I remember the first time, again, years ago, I think one of my first ghost adventures, when I was probably a little more sensitive to things. And I think they put me on, it was something called fakepsychics.com. I'm like, what? I've worked so hard. Wow. And then I went, and it was talking about a specific ghost adventures, like, how could she be real? Because every time she discovers something, she's looking at the camera, and every time this, and she gets it. And I'm just thinking, like, they don't know about editing. It's like, you know that it takes 4 days to shoot a Ghost Adventures 44 minutes? They just cut out all those bad butt shots were against the camera. It's like, so I'm like, if that's the worst I'm going to get, that's okay. And I was going to, should I write to him? I'm like, no, I'm not going to fuel the fire. That's his prerogative. That's fine.
So talking about Ghost Adventures, how long have you been on their show? How long have you been doing it?
2015 was my first one. It was the Haunted Hollywood. I would have just actually been like, every episode has that local person either experienced something or the local medium. It was at the American Legion, which is right down the street from me in Hollywood. And Zach had heard, I'm on the board of the Hollywood Arts Council. I'd done a ghost tour there, and I'd seen Charlie Chaplin again at an exact stool, and he gave me all this information, and I didn't know that that was the exact stool he sat in every single Friday night for years and years. And whoever ran the club told Zach that, so they had me come in. And that was my first episode. And then they just started calling me in, whether they wanted me to feel out a place or do a seance or whatever. I never know what I'm getting into. If I do know a place, like I've sent them places like, you're going to run love my friend Richard Layell. You got to go to his house. They want it so real that I just stood outside and I said, this is my experience. He didn't want me to go in and look like I'm fake discovering something. They're so legitimate like that. So there's lots of episodes like, this is what I've experienced. You go see. Otherwise, I go in completely blind. I have a new one coming out this month that we just shot. I was so in the middle of nowhere, I thought I was going to get abducted by aliens. It's like, I don't know where I'm going, but I have not seen another car or human in over an hour.
Wow. And, being part of Ghost Adventures and, for doing it as long as you have, we've all seen how paranormal equipment has evolved. When it comes to paranormal equipment, when they're using it, is there a particular piece of equipment that you don't feel it's right for the paranormal field, or that you just don't connect well with?
No, not really. I think they all have their place, and I'm not a techie, but I like it. And I like that it kind of proves what I see. If I'm doing what I do, like if I'm doing a seance, like somebody could have their REM pod there. I don't care, or a little talky thing. I don't want a spirit box. I don't want something noisy. That's inappropriate for an old fashioned seance. But if you're on an investigation, I think it's great, because like the first time I saw SLS camera, for years, I'll be saying, okay, I'm across the table. I see there is a ghost going like this, crossing their arms back and forth. And you believe me or you don't believe me, that's fine. Now there's a guy in another room who can't see me and I can't see him, with the SLS camera with a little green stick person, and the ghost is going like this. And it's like, yes, exactly. That's what I see. So I love that little confirmation thing.
That's great. That's great. Rob?
So Tracy asked, you've known Zach a long time. Have you ever visited his museum?
Yes. I've done many things in his museum, and all my first ones, I hadn't even got my first time before it was a museum. It was a spinoff. It was called Deadly Possessions. It was a spinoff of Ghost Adventures, and he brought me in to do a seance with Peggy the doll, a very haunted doll that gives people heart attacks. So he didn't own the building yet. And he was like a kid. He's like, look at my doll room and look at this. We had the seance room and the doll room. The rest of it was not anything. He literally was going to the Las Vegas City Council the next day and asking them if he could open a museum. And if they said yes, he was going to buy the building, and the rest is history. So I did that. And then I did another episode. I was coming in, it was near the holidays, flew me in. I didn't know what's what. I didn't know who was there. He put me locked in this little thing, and I'm seeing all this stuff going on. And then he brought me in. I'm seeing a woman on the floor. I'm seeing a guy on the floor. I met my best friend then, Father Sebastian, my now business partner in the school. He was laying flat on the floor. And then he brought me into this little room. And he goes, I want you to meet somebody. And we walk in, and there's this sweet little English lady who looks like she wants to serve you tea. Instead, she wanted to kill me. He likes to do the good witch, bad witch. And it was actually a beautiful woman. Sadly, she's passed now, Lady Snake. But she was in this big cauldron doing dark magic that I won't do. but it wasn't her that wanted to kill me. It was the serial killer, Ed Gain. I didn't even know that was Ed Gain's cauldron where he cooked and ate people until I saw it on TV like 2 months later. I'm like, fuck. So, he separated us. And then again, we were doing a 4-hour special, and I knew everybody. I was like fangirling out. Gary Galka was there, Bill Chappell, Michael Marty Perry, everybody, and me. And I'm like, yay. But we all knew who was there. We stayed in the same hotel. We were in the same green room. It was my turn to go in. And he goes, oh, Patti, there's somebody I want you to see. And will you go in the basement? And this was the early days when no one went in the basement. Yep. He had been keeping Lady Snake separate hotel, separate green room, just so we could go, bah, good witch, bad witch. So that was really fun. I made jump like a foot off the ground. So I'd done all these different things, but it was a while later. I actually was there doing something else, and I did the tour. It's brilliant. Because it's like, oh wow, look at all these rooms I've never seen, or I've been, blindfolded or in the pitch dark running through them. It's if anybody into this sort of thing, which they obviously are watching your show, it's a beautiful museum, well curated, great guy. It's dark, it goes to where it is, but they'll bring in something light.
Okay. Yeah, I think the doll room, I personally wouldn't be able to do it. Too many eyes.
Too many eyes. So many eyes on you. I actually gave him a piece. I had a haunted thing that I realized, wow, it was a gift and it was fine for 2 years. And I go, this is too dark. And I called him up, like, Zach, I have this thing. It's too dark for me. He's like, well, let me see it. I sent him a picture. He goes, oh yeah, that's a nail fetish. Hate God, I'll take it. I took it to him. He put it in the museum and started acting up that night. Better there than here. My home doesn't get to have dark stuff. It has haunted stuff, but nothing that's going to make your hair fall out or make you sick.
Yeah, definitely.
So Nando's good lady has asked, what was it like cooking with Gordon Ramsay? I bet he was scared to shout at you in case he got hexed.
The funniest thing, it was really fun. That was my challenge, to see that we could do anything, because I don't know how to cook, and I got on MasterChef. Just like I'm not that athletic, I got on Wipeout. I'm not that talented, I got on America's Got Talent. That just shows what we can do. But Gordon Ramsay, he's afraid of ghosts, guys.
Is he?
He is afraid, because the MasterChef kitchen looks like this big, beautiful kitchen, and it is, but it's in old warehouses and stuff that have been other things. And, we taped for weeks before the little bit anybody sees on camera and stuff. And when he's talking about their ghosts here, like, yeah, the little bead of sweat dripping down.
Wow.
I like him. He's really a big teddy bear, I think. He's got his character that he does, and I'm sure, I wouldn't want to work for him on a regular basis. He's probably a tough boss, but he's a big teddy bear and afraid of ghosts.
That's funny. I would like to see Gordon Ramsay being scared of something, because, like, as you said, when you see him on TV, he's a very loud and quite especially being in the catering industry. So to see a different side to him, I think that would be quite amusing to see that. Rob, you going to say something?
No, it's your turn. Go on. I've just read your wife's question. It's your turn now.
Okay, I apologize. So for you, what is your favorite location that you've done to date? Like, out of everything that you've investigated, do you have a particular location that's your favorite, and why?
I think because I want to go there more and discover stuff. And it's dark though, because I like Hollywood Roosevelt, where the ghosts are fun and you see Marilyn Monroe wandering around the pool. But it's the Cecil Hotel, the darkness, whatever's at the Cecil Hotel. I've probably been there more than anybody. A couple nights with Zach. I did a 2-episode thing. I did 4 nights with the overnight crew. I recently did a CW show there. And that place, you get it within a half a block of it. And I don't think you have to be intuitive. You just want to kill yourself. You are depressed. Life is hopeless. The closer and closer you get to this place, no wonder people jump out windows and serial killers move in. It's dark.
I think I know. Is this the one that they did a documentary on Netflix?
Netflix did a documentary. Yeah. It's the one. 2 serial killers live. A girl was in the water tower, like floating around.
I think me and Sarah watched that, and you know, from the minute you switch on, there's just something weird. Even watching it from home, and the way that they filmed it. Have you seen it, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a really weird story because then a guest went missing while staying there, didn't they, as well? And then yeah, wow, that must have been a weird.
Yeah, and she was missing for 3 weeks, and then they found her in a water tower, and all the people who lived there were like, "Why the water's been tasting so funny?"
Yeah,
But
that's why.
Wow.
yeah, I didn't know where I was going. Again, as always, he's like, "Here's an address. Be here in 2 hours." And I'm like, 2 hours? I'm a girl. Did I wash my hair? So I got there. Oh, I saw the water tower. I'm like, oh, this is that Alyssa Lamb place. That's all I knew about it. I didn't know that Richard Ramirez and some other serial killer, or how many people and babies have been out the window. But again, I'm getting more and more depressed, and it is on Skid Row. A rat almost didn't even want to let me in. I'm like, are you possessed? Or are you saving? I'd go right and the rat would go right. I'd go left and the rat would go left. And usually they scurry away. And I'm like,
yeah.
By the time I get in, I was so I let spirit take over. I was so overrun. And there's Zach and the guys, all their cameras. He's like, okay, Patty, here we are. There's 700 rooms. There's 14 floors. They're all unlocked. You tell us where to go. I'm like, So I go to lead them to an elevator, and I'm like, oh, this is that elevator where she did that viral pushing all those buttons. And I'm like, oh my God. And I led them right to a room. And again, when I'm in a trance state, it's kind of like dream state. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I'm walking up to a window going, I got to get out of here. I'm opening a window, and Zach starts yelling at me. He's like, Patty, what are you doing? Sit down. Patty, so close the window. What are you doing? Sit down. And I'm in my little trance state. I'm like,
yeah.
Why is he yelling at me? Zach never yells at me. I didn't, little beknownst to me, I had led him right to a room that somebody had jumped out that exact window. And here I am opening the window saying, I got to get out of here. And then we had an SLS on my head.
So do you think potentially the spirit was leading you to do what they did then? Like,
I think
Zach didn't call you back.
Yeah.
Could you have?
I don't think I would have, because I think there's a human survival spirit. Like they even say with hypnosis, like psychological hypnosis, that you won't do anything that you really wouldn't do. I mean, you might gawk like a chicken, but you're not going to do something against your moral code or whatever. I don't think I would have. I just think I had that feeling of hopelessness so much. And again, probably was channeling that person, because then I led them to another room. And I felt I was so being attacked and being attacked and being attacked. And he, as always, he's going, where are you being attacked? And the part of me still conscious, Patty, is thinking, how do you say that body part on television? And I led them right to, I said female parts or something. I led them right to a room where a woman had been raped and murdered who lived there. This Goldie, she has a bird lady. It's so sad. But that place is crazy. Every room is like its whole world of darkness or sadness. Or when I was there with the overnight guys with Corey and ELTON, I was in a hall. I just posted a little tiny clip from it, and I was kind of rocking, which I rock anyways. And I was just talking gibberish. I thought I was talking because I usually talk, and I thought I was talking, but I was just talking gibberish. And Corey, who I've been working with, he goes, we should play that backwards. We played it backwards. I was talking English backwards. That's weird. Wow. Because I think the other side is reverse image. And so that was weird. I go, I should put that on my resume. I can't even write backwards. Like if I got pulled over for drunk driving and not drinking, then they say, do your alphabet backwards, like take me in. I can't. Yeah. I hardly spell my name backwards. I'm so anti-dyslexic. So that was weird. That place is crazy. And it's sad about it because right now, good concept, bad thing, that we have a horrible homeless problem in Los Angeles. Here's an empty hotel with 700 rooms. They're moving homeless people in. People don't even want to move into it. It's staying empty. They'd rather stay in a cardboard box. But the people who are moving in, they're already starting to jump out windows. I want to go. I want to gather I don't care, priest, rabbi, shaman, witch, holy person, nun, monk, and do a big hold hands kumbaya clearing of the place, because it's sad. It's scary.
Do they know?
It affects. Carry on. No, I was just saying, it affects dead people. It is a place that people are being held by some big demonic egregore or something. It affects living people, and it affects me, and I'm pretty sane, but it really affects people who have you know, a mental imbalance or insecurities or a drug or alcohol problem, which is most of the people moving in.
Wow.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right.
You don't know what that's supposed to be on mute. Muted. Muted. It's haunted.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know.
In
Sorry
fact,
about that.
Don't be sorry. I was going to say, you know, being in those. What she's
okay,
talking
I'm back.
about.
Sorry,
The spirits can hear what you're talking about, and they're like, "Whoa, we need to."
Yeah.
No, it's like, get rid of her. We're gonna call.
It's either that or it's Zach going, quick, we've got an investigation and when you need you now.
Now, get here in 10 minutes. Like, ah.
But just to quickly ask, like being in those sort of situations, that leaves you quite vulnerable. Like in a way, you don't fully know what you're. Do you know what you're doing at all times, or when you're in that situation, you need that sort of?
I almost use percentages, not as such. Like, again, doing mediumship for so long, I do let somebody come into me, but not 100%. And again, if it's somebody nice, like your grandma, you know, I will take on your body movements and everything like that. If it's somebody like a serial killer, you get this much of me. You don't get the whole thing. And I have to hold on to my spirit and my soul so I can kick them out when I need. But it's very dreamlike. It's almost, you know, when you're waking up for a dream, that kind of thing. That's how it is.
Okay. Do you want to do Sarah's comment quick?
Yeah, go on.
So Sarah's just said, your witch ancestry, Faye. Do you have old English, Irish, or Scottish in you? Where do you think your witch blood line stems from? Did you have aunts and uncles, parents doing it?
I think it comes from both sides. On my mom's side, I have the Irish, English, and all that kind of Celtic. I look like a pie. I'm such a mutt. I'm from like 912 countries, but on my mom's side, all that European part. My dad's side, it came from Turkey and Spain and Sephardic Jewish side. So I think I've got the Gypsy Middle Eastern on my dad's side and that whole Upper Europe over here. And I think together it just went blah.
That's great. Rob?
Brilliant. So you said earlier that you appear, this is from Jackson, you appear on the Overnight channel. What's your favorite location with them? And is Corey really as scared as Ouija boards that he makes out?
He's getting better all the time, but he's had some bad experiences. You know, he's had a spirit been following him around for a long time. We've kind of gotten to the bottom of it, you know, over the last few years. My favorite location with them, I think, again, because I don't have a good sense of direction, we did this one little thing. I went on tour with them and like with their Winnebago. So we're in Chicago one day doing some prison, and then we're somebody else in Michigan one day doing something. And that was fun. But I think the one that challenged me, we were on a aircraft carrier in central middle, like Bay Area. We're, you know, that holds like 3,000 men, 5,000 men, but we were the only like 6 people on the ship. And had I not had somebody to guide me along, I'd still be lost on that ship. Because again, you're dealing with spirits and ghosts and all this, you know, war-y kind of stuff, but also going, I went up this ladder to get here and I went down here, and all this gray metal is like, kind of like you're in a cave.
Wow. That's brilliant.
But the Biltmore is one of my favorite fun places to shoot with them guys. With anybody, one of my younger guys, Gavin Magnus, I film with. The Biltmore has, again, yes, it's got the dark and scary ghosts, but it's got some really fun ghosts too, hanging from the chandeliers.
Okay, cool. Again, from Jackson, what's the difference between a white witch and a black witch?
Well, I don't even use white witch, or I use the word good, because good means a lot of things. I will not do dark magic. Not good or evil, heaven or hell. I just think you have to live in the world you create. If you live in a world of sending out bad energy and hexes and hate, what you've put out, you get back. That's just whether you go with the law of 3, that's karma, that's cause and effect, action and reaction. And if you're able to get everything by sending, like even getting on Master Chef or those, you send out good, you get back good, and then the spotlight comes on you. So why would I send out evil thoughts? Because then people I know who do dark magic, successfully are not as happy as I am. They get crankier. They often tend to get paranoid. They often tend to get illness and stuff that it's a higher vibration. So to me, a good magic versus dark magic, I don't need to control anybody else. I will do protection, like bring me the love of life, a good love, positive magic, love spell. Bring me the love of my life. Okay, we do magic and the love of your life shows up. To me, a negative is bring me Fred. I want Fred, because we don't have Fred's permission. So a lot of people, including myself, consider that kind of dark magic. There's a lot of fine lines. This is way oversimplification. But I do magic that affects me or the people that I'm working for. That's positive, because why do negative if you don't have to? And you can get everything you want. So to me, that's what about controlling. I don't want to send anybody illness. I don't want to send anybody.
You just want to send them the light and all the positive vibes and everything. No, I like that. With things that you're doing, is there stuff that you can just give us a brief description, what you've got coming up, what people can look forward to seeing from you?
Yes. Again, I have a new Ghost Adventures coming out the week or two in the US. I don't know about the UK. It's called Scotty's Castle. It was way out in Death Valley. That should be a really good one on Ghost Adventures. Also, I've been working with the Ghost Finders on my network on Paraflix. And we have the first episode I shot with them. It airs September 15th in 4 days on Paraflix, exclusive to Paraflix, and then it'll be on Amazon and everything else. It's at Randolph County Asylum. It was kind of a crazy place. I got a little bit pushed down the stairs.
Wow.
We were somewhere in the middle of Indiana, I think. So the Ghost Finders, it's their season 12 opening. So they've been around a long time, and I love working with them. I just shot with them again a couple of weeks ago. We spent a week or so in New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
Wow,
they seem fun. And Rob Thompson,
he's a great
guy. He's a great guy to talk to.
He is a great guy, and he should be at the Festival of Unexplained.
Yeah.
Explained.
I think I've been treated. Sarah's booked me a reading with him, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yay. Oh, he's
I've never had a reading done before, so that would be something different for me.
And he is great. We last time did seance together and do stuff, so I love working with him. Plus, what's fun about Ghost Finders is they have a regular witch on the show. Her name's Megan, and she's an eclectic traditional witch. And again, they come in working with ritual and opening the veil and doing to open spirits. And I think that makes them different. I mean, a lot of shows now or teams have the psychic, have the medium, have somebody with more spiritual background, but they have a flat out witch, Megan. And I love working with her. She's like, I go, you're my little sister or my kid. I don't know, but you're adopted.
Oh, bless. The other thing I just really wanted to touch on as well is Paraflix. How did that come about for you?
I don't know. I just said yes. Now I was working with Natalie, was going to do a Paracon, a Texas Paracon. And then it didn't work out because COVID was coming around. And then somehow we just started talking. It's like, let's start a streaming network, because I mean, for all of us in this business, I don't know which all channels you guys, but we've already seen everything on Discovery Plus. We've already seen everything on the Travel Channel 3 times. We've already seen everything. So, and we know how many good shows out there, and we know how many people are, pulling from even the best of YouTube and the best. It's like, there's really good content out there. So we thought we'd give people a chance, and we're doing really great. So we started that a couple of years ago. Anybody's welcome to send us their stuff. And if you're good, you can get on. Again, Ghost Finders is one of our top exclusive. We love them. One of our top teams, and it's done well by each other. And at the same time, I started school. It's like, I really don't want to sleep. It's like, at the same time, okay, now let's start an international school at the same time. Okay.
Wow.
So how many pupils do you have in your school? How many do you? I
think a couple hundred regular working, because you could come to one class and that's it. Some people come almost every day. I have about 20 teachers now of all different, again, belief system, Reiki, astrology, paganism, lots of forms of craft, vampirism, a few people teach good vampirism, not drinking blood and putting on, though we all have fangs. Of a werewolf teacher now, which is not, again, putting on a fursuit. It's that embracing life animal magic. Cryptid stuff, UFO. We kind of call it a real life Hogwarts. Yeah, Christianity.
It sounded like Hogwarts.
that sounds great.
It's cheap. It's really affordable. I started at $10. We did it out of a passion for people to learn. I teach mediumship development, psychic development, spell casting, familiar classes. I think I'm doing talismans and charms. I just did a past life.
Wow.
And great teachers.
Cool. That's absolutely brilliant. And with that, you know, like when we're talking about mediums, psychics, is it an ability that you have to start with, or is it something you can teach yourself to be able to do?
I think everybody has it in them. And I think you can develop and teach it, just like going to the gym. We're going to have different body types, and not everybody will be the muscle builder, but everybody can develop what they have. I think kids really are born with it, but it really gets taught out of us in our modern Western non-mystical magical society, and it's easy to turn back on. So again, everybody could take piano lessons. Not all of us will be a piano virtuoso, but everyone can learn to read music and play piano. So,
oh, brilliant. Rob?
How do you cleanse yourself after an investigation? What do you do to cleanse yourself before you go home? So nothing
I work with a lot of oils. I work with a lot of herbs. I'm a big Palo Santo girl. I'm not a big sage girl. I work a lot. This portal on the back of the head, so many people forget about. That's the biggest portal back there. You know, before I'm going in, if I'm not channeling, shutting that down, and I keep the investigator, shut that down. You want this open. You want your third eye open. You don't want this open. That's why you bow your head to pray. You don't want stuff getting in there you don't want. But I work with sigils and symbols. My biggest protective sigil is a helm of awe. It's a rune, that 8-sided cross. I always wear, not now, a necklace that has that, or I'll write it on a piece of paper and stick it in your pocket, because that really just bursts negative energy. So I have many techniques. And intent is the most when clearing out. Okay, this is how much I will allow. Here are my boundaries. And when you go, you're staying here, you're not coming with me. It's intent.
That's brilliant.
Cool.
That's a lot that we can learn then. You know, it's absolutely great. What you're doing, I think, is great. You know, and it's great to just hear a little bit about what you've done, because I know there's so much more that you've done that we can really get into. Rob?
No, I'm mesmerized. Obviously, I've watched you on many TV shows and YouTube channels, and you were one that I really wanted to get on the podcast. So I'm just grateful that you said yes. So thank you very much.
You guys are great hosts. You're fun. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
Just before we do let you go, can you just give a bit of a shout out where people can find all your stuff, like through Facebook and everything like that, so they can check you out if they haven't?
Go to pattinegri.com, and that you can get to my YouTube page. You can get to my legitimate Instagram, TikTok, because I have a lot of fakes. I've got like 20 fakes on TikTok now. I will never contact you and suggest you have a reading. Never. They're fakes. They're people in their mom's basement, not me. But you can also get to my new spellcaster line of clothing, magical clothing, and my Patty's Power panties, which you guys should have a pair. I've been doing this for 20 years with like movie stars, going, you have to wear this color blue panties, picture this sigil or symbol. And now I have them out under mystery control, Patty's Power panties. You know, change your underwear, change your life. I make cute ones for boys, cute ones for girls, nice couple matching pairs. In love and dragon magic and wealth and money and health and passion, and and everyone comes with this little spell you do yourself. And what more intimate than you put on? I mean, superheroes have magic panties, right? Mormons have magic panties. So I'm proud to bring those out. They're fun. And if anybody wants to get them, say code Patty, you get 25% off. And that's it. Go to my website, and from there, please like me, following me on social medias, but go there from that. And again, on the 15th, if you have Paraflix, watch me on Ghost Finders. I don't know if it's October. I don't know the UK, but in the US, October, I don't know if it's the 19th or 25th. It's just before Halloween, my newest Ghost Adventures. And and some other stuff I can't talk about. So it's all good. But thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us.
Bladder control.
Sarah,
Sarah, I'm working on the paranormal investigator. I might peed my pants bladder control magic panties. That's the second time that's been suggested. Like,
do you know what? Trust Sarah to come up with something like that. But no, I just want to say again, thank you so much for taking the time out and just giving us what you've done so far. And hopefully down the line we can do a follow-up with you and see what's going on, what's new, and maybe see you at the Festival of the Unexplained if they do it again.
Next one, I would love to be there. So have fun this time. Say hi to Rob. Say hi to Karen. Say hi to everybody.
We will. Thank you very much, Patti.
That's brilliant. But we'll let you get on, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was fun.
What a lovely lady.
So much energy, so much positive vibes, and I really enjoyed that. That was really good.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see a different side to everything as well, because obviously you get so much like negativity about these programs and that it was quite nice to talk to someone that's actually on the programs with the people. So it was nice to get the questions answered.
Yeah, and like Patti said, you got to take and they're doing 4 days worth of filming, and they've got to condense it down. The bad butt shots they don't want in there. So it was good, and I like the way Patti explains things and the way she goes into it, and the hotel she did, the Cecil Hotel. That when I watched it, that was great. So for her to go in there. You know what I'm like when she's saying that she's walking through this window. First thing I'm like, what do you think you're going to jump out then? It's crazy. Like what spirits can make a person potentially do. And it's just great what she's done and the people that she's come across as well.
We're still new to this, but Patti's had a lifetime experience. So it's like, we're still learning what we're doing. And it's like, it's nice to get people on the show that has had all that experience.
But no, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you for everyone who's participated with your questions and supporting the show. It's been a great night. So
hi guys.
So it's been absolutely brilliant.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's nice. It's always nice to get recognition. It's nice that people appreciate it.
And it's great when we get like someone like Patti on and we just have a good time, and it was good vibes. Good vibes.
I'll definitely be giving a follow-up in the future with Patti, and I'm actually quite looking forward to getting out into America next year as well, and then hopefully, who knows, possibly potentially meet up with her somewhere, Nando, couldn't we? We could go to a prison and invite her along, or an asylum. You'd be safe. Would be there.
Well, maybe I have to order some of her big boy pants then, just to keep me going.
With the extra bladder control, because Sarah put that in there for you, no one else. That was in there for you.
that was all for me. But no, what a great show. Really enjoyed it tonight. But for us, what's happening? This week, tomorrow. Tell everyone what's going on tomorrow with you.
So tomorrow I am going out on a collab with Daryl from Lost Souls UK. He's been wanting to go out and do an investigation for some time, but I haven't had the opportunity with work and that. But because I've taken a few days off this week because we got the festival, I said, we're going to go. So we're heading to Preston Park. We're going to the church where the nun's remains was found in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's the church next door to the manor. So we're actually going to go live. You're going to be in the room and doing the questions for us. So, and then on Saturday, I head up to meet you and your good lady and Dan and his good lady up at the festival. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Bit of karaoke.
Funny pictures to follow, people. I'm not going to be drinking. I'm going to be there with my camera.
And we just point out, Nando drinks Baileys, so he's not going to get drunk because he drinks a girl's drink.
Mate, Baileys is lovely. like whatever. But no, there's going to be some funny pictures to follow in the follow-up when we do the next show.
Me and Sarah, there'd be a nice video of that, you know, me singing a bit of Adele.
We might have to go live while you're doing karaoke, you and Sarah. Let everyone see having fun. But no, it's definitely great. It's going to be a great weekend. Looking forward to it, meeting up with everyone. And then lastly is going into October, Global Ghost Hunt. As a lot of people will know, me, Rob, Portal to the Paranormal, the Patrol are part of the Global Ghost Hunt. If you haven't checked it out, Facebook page, Global Ghost Hunt. You got www.globalghosthunt.com, I believe it is.
There it is. At the bottom of the screen.
And for us, like if you're a team or you're a location in the UK that you would like to get yourself recognised for your team or your location, go on there and register, you know, and then, you know, it'll be great to see more UK teams, I think, to come on board. I think at the moment we have 2, 3, me, you, and another team. Patrol, Portal, and the Ghoul Gang.
Ghoul Gang, yeah. I'm sure there's someone else.
No,
if Brian's in the room, send us a message and tell us if there's someone else.
There's no one else in the UK, so it'd be great to push, you know, get more of the UK on.
2 and a bit weeks to get registered, because it doesn't stop until 30th of September, isn't it? Closing date?
Yeah, the end of the month. Yeah. And then what a location, you know, we're going to be meeting up with you again at the... Oh, and Robin, that was it. You were right.
I knew I was right, see.
Having paranoid, so my mistake. But yeah, HM Inn for you guys, which
is
a phenomenal location.
We'll be there on...
I don't like thunderstorms. I like that.
Thanks, Jet. Yeah, that's you. Wow.
That was great.
I've known Jet for quite a while now. He's a lovely guy, but sometimes I just want to throttle him. I'm going to ask Patti for a hex. Just no, he's a lovely guy. We met in Brighton, and yeah, I told him a few things, and yeah, so we've known each other a while. But my singing's not that bad.
Do I need some ear guards or something to protect my hearing from this then?
No, you don't.
Because it's bad enough having to talk to him all the time. So singing, do I need more protection? I'm joking. Anyway, what were you saying? Let's move on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know. I've lost my train of thought now. Ancient Ram.
We were talking about the HM Inn.
So we're going live with Global Ghost Hunt on the 23rd.
I like this guy. I like it. I like him. Yeah. I like him.
Right, you can investigate him when he's 6 foot under. We're going live on the 23rd, and we'll be joined by yourself and Dan. Chloe from my team will be there, and hopefully Sarah will join us. And then we also have the wonderful Beardo will be coming and taking part as well. So if anyone doesn't know who Beardo is, he is a paranormal investigator, but he's also a well-renowned debunker on YouTube, and we support his channel and he supports us, and we get on really well. So we thought we'd take him out on an investigation, so we make sure we do everything right. And then we're joining you guys at your location at the end of October for Global Ghost Hunt.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, we can get... Well, we've definitely got the location, the Gherkin Museum. I just need to confirm, you know, getting it set up for the Global Ghost Hunt. I think it'll be fine. But then you're going to be joining us on that one. And that's going to be cool. Because this is a location that's got a lot of history, you know, and we've never investigated it either. So, you know, it's going to be whatever happens, it's going to be new for all of us. So that's quite exciting. And then also to quickly mention about the Global, there's some great teams that have signed up as well, you know. But what would be great is it's going to be a great event in October, but more UK teams. If there's teams that want to...
I'm really looking forward to is Rootless.
They're good.
It's because they dress up. They actually dress up in the period clothing of their venue, and I love that. The last one in May, they look stunning in all their dresses, and I was just like, you know, that's great. You know, I threw you in the dungeon at the jailhouse, so you know that kept with the role play of everything. So
yeah, well, not this time. This
Not
time
this
I'm going to be
time.
on my I'm going to be on my guard this time. But no, lots to look forward to with that. And then just with us as the patrol and Portal to the Paranormal, we've got our Facebook pages. We've got our TikTok pages as well. So if you want to check us out, you know, anyone watching in the UK that wants to go on a paranormal investigation, the team are out on the 16th, this Saturday. They will be doing Murchison Hall in Portsmouth. So you can check out our website if you want to join. And then at the end of the month, I think it's the 22nd, we have a second broadcast of Portal to the Paranormal Haunted Places. We're going to be discussing the story of 30 East Drive. You know,
sore subject for me at the moment.
We're not going to go too much into that at the moment because it's a bit of a sore area for him. But yeah, check that out and join in the conversation. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone and thank you for watching.
Again, I'd like to say thank you for coming in the room and taking time out of your evening to watch us. It's always grateful to see a lot of new people and a lot of old faces, Brian, in the chat. So
he ain't gonna like that. Old?
Oh, I know.
Really?
He's younger than me, I think. With that being said, we'll see you all next week. We have love you, Brian, really. We have Shani Struthers on next week. She is a lady based in Brighton. She does all the paranormal fiction stories in Brighton. So she will be joining us to talk about her books. And then at the end of the month, we have the special show with everyone from the festival.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Which will be really good.
And just to mention, Sean, he is one of the team leaders for Portal to the Paranormal. So if you want to have a good time with the team, Sean will be running with Jojo, Little Joe on Saturday. I think Paul Kimber as well. Great people. So definitely, you know, if you're in our area, say again.
Only if he turns up on time. He's only an hour and 10 minutes late for the show, but it's fine, Sean. Don't worry.
Look, he still made a presence. That's the main thing. We love him, and you know, it's a great fun to be with Portal to the Paranormal. So definitely join us if you can. And yeah, like you said, at the end of October, Halloween. That's it.
He's been playing badminton. We'll let him off.
Do you know what? Honestly, if you've seen his weight loss journey that he's gone on, he looks great, like amazing, and he's always playing badminton. He honestly, this guy, I'll give you a quick. He come round with Jojo once. Sarah and Jojo was doing a podcast. I think, if I'm right, it was with Barry Guy. Anyway, after the show, we had a good few drinks, and Sarah's pouring the drinks is lethal. And I was so ill the next day. He messaged me at 10 o'clock in the morning going, "How you feeling?" And I'm like, "Dog shit." I'm going, "How you doing?" He sent me a picture. He was playing badminton. I was like, "Mate, you make me feel sick." I was dying. And I just couldn't get. But honestly, the guy's great fun. Honestly, when you come down, you'll get to meet the rest of the team. And honestly, it's going to be great.
He can help me with my weight loss journey that's not working very well. So, yeah, that being said, please stay and watch the outro because there is a brilliant video about the Parapost Network, how you can sign up for it. It's a lot better than Facebook and things like that. So, yeah, it's better streaming. So just keep an eye on that at the end. But for now, thank you very much and see you tomorrow night if you watch the live.
See you guys.